How much would you need to lower the sea to make England, Scotland, Wales part of Ireland? The answer is, well, the answer is a couple of 100 meters, which isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things. In fact, if I just pull up a graphic here, this is from, I believe the graphic is the Smithsonian's, but there is a lot of evidence that England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland were all connected at one point. So hopefully you can see that tab there. What you can see is this big area called Doggerland, which is up in the North Sea, up here, okay? What you've got up here is basically where the North Sea is today. We know where the Dogger Bank is. There's lots and lots of fossils here. Lots of fossils get swept out from here and wash up along the east coast of the UK, particularly around here, around East Anglia and Norfolk. I grew up collecting, fossils that have been washed in. You have trawlers that go out, big fishing boats that go out and trawl the bottom to catch, shrimp and what we call prawns and the like, and crabs and whatnot. And they pull up huge huge mammoth fossils all the time. So we definitely know we find, stone tools that get washed out of there. We find settlements and so on and so forth. So we definitely know that this area was a land bridge at one point connecting what is modern day mainland Europe over into where modern day United Kingdom is. And you can see all of these rivers, right, which are flowing from the Highlands in the UK up here in Scotland and Wales and what's around here in the Peak District and the Lake District, and they're all flowing out to sea up here in the Norwegian Trench. Now we know this, but if you have a look over here, what you can also see is as you have ice sheets during the Ice Age, biblical perspective, Ice Age is soon after Noah's flood, a few hundred years after Noah's flood, where you have warm ocean waters, you have very cool atmosphere, particularly around the poles, lots of aerosols and the like. So you've got the right conditions to evaporate lots of water from the sea and trap that water in ice up on the land, hence lowering the sea levels by 200 to 300 meters. If you do that, by the way, you could walk from the tip of South America to the bottom of Tasmania, but you'd have to go the long way round, all the way up through the Americas, across the Bering Strait, down through Europe, and all the way down to Australia, but you'd actually be able to do it. If you have a look over here, what's really interesting, if you can see my cursor, hopefully you can, you've got a couple of rivers, one which has its source up here from Scotland, basically down, one which has its source from Wales and the Lake District, and they join together down here and they flow out into the sea. Now, what's really interesting, we can still see the evidence of these two major rivers joining into one on the bottom of the Irish Sea today. You can do geomorphology scans of the bottom of the Irish Sea. It's still there. And what's really interesting is the Celts, right? The old Celtic tribes that lived in Ireland and Wales. They actually have stories of a time in the past when the giants used to live, when there were two rivers which connected Ireland and Wales, which meant you only had to cross two rivers in order to get over into Ireland. And it's rather interesting that we still find the evidence of those rivers today. The evidence tells us that there was a large land mass out there today, and you can still see the evidence of it when you go onto the bottom of the sea. And it's trapped not just in the science, if you like, and the sort of historical information from geology and geomorphology, but it's also there in the written and historical and oral records of the people that actually lived there at the time. So rather interesting to get it all into perspective.